Oh man, crypto is doing well. So Bitcoin sitting at 46,600 and Ethereum comfortably above the $3,000 mark. Let's take a look and have a crypto update. So we've got, as I said, Bitcoin up 42% in the last 30 days. So if you were out of the market for the last 30 days because you panic sold or you were worried and you realized a loss, you've just missed out on the sharp kind of inclines you can expect to see in crypto. We know it's volatile, and this is how it makes its movements. It just suddenly spikes up once the momentum starts to gather pace. And now let's take a look at the charts. Bitcoin will be looking to test this green level at 50,000. But before then, we've got this amber resistance at 47,800 I've got drawn here. We've got to break through that little bit of resistance before we can go test the 50 mark. Now, you saw here, we did have a small retest. Let's go into the 4-hourly. I can show you the retest. You can see here, we did have this retest. It's more pronounced on the hourly chart. See, came down, retested this level. We've created, let me take out the brush. We've created a higher low, which is good. And now we want to see a higher high. Okay, so if we take out our little trend line tool, we want to break above this mark here. Okay, so we need to get above that in order for us to make another higher high and carry on with our uptrend. So just zooming back out again onto the daily chart, you can see this is where we're heading to. We need to break 47,850 so we can go back to 50 and then we're back in the game. But clearly a nice, look at this long downtrend we have. Clearly a nice break of this downtrend. The EMA ribbons are now spreading out, which is always a good sign. If I show you that on the 4-hourly as well, anytime this EMA ribbon starts to flip, it then broadens, and as the spread increases, it means you have more momentum in your uptrend. Okay, so that's really important. So we've got some good momentum there, a nice wide indication there. And we've also got a golden cross coming up in the next couple of weeks as well, which is where the shorter term EMA is crossing the longer term EMA. So a lot of people use the 20 and 50. You can use different ones, but the concept being that the momentum is now starting to pick up. You can see RSI is healthy, not in the overbought territory yet. But we're looking good. Let's have a look at Ethereum. So similar story with Ethereum. We had our retest and we climbed up, and we're just following Bitcoin to that extent. So again, a higher low as you would expect there, and you just want to now create another higher high, same as Bitcoin. So you just want it to come up to here, just break that 32.85 level and hold above it and close above it on this 4-hourly, and we're good to head higher. And if we look at where the next major resistance points are, you've got an area of resistance here. So I would even call that, you can say between the 3,300 to 3,500. There's going to be some work to do, and then we can start testing higher. Okay. But the one that's been moving, and the one we want to spend time talking about today, is ADA. Cardano makes up a big portion of my portfolio. I've been holding ADA for a long time now, and it's good to see it move. It's one of the altcoins that has recovered the quickest. If we just look at this, let's just look at this on the daily. We can see how well Cardano's recovered. So if you look at this here, we are now from that high there. Let's take that high. We are now 20% off that all-time highs on Cardano. So definitely some good room here for us. I mean, not much major resistance now here. Let's look at the 4-hourly. Not much major resistance we're going to run into. We've just cleared this major one here. Let's go back a step, actually. So remember when I said we had to break above this high here? It's still drawn in there. We broke powerfully through that. We broke above the next resistance, which I had here in green at the 1.61 mark. Came back down, tested the ribbon, and it just pelted back up through my next resistance, which was at 1.87. So now we're going to be climbing up through, let's take a look at the other pieces of resistance. So your next major resistance, you can argue you've got some in this region. I remember when Cardano broke the $2 mark, it had some difficulty. So the $2 mark is going to be the next point where you get a bit of psychological trading, where some people are, the shorts will be sitting there and some people will want to take profits, those that have run it from $1 or less. But once we get through that $1.992 mark, we're going to go test back at all-time highs at 2.44. And then my target for Cardano is 3. And the reason for 3 is it's actually got some catalysts. We have some fundamental catalysts supporting why this is moving. Charles Hodgkinson, the founder of IOHK, who runs Cardano, has indicated that we're not far from Alonzo Purple, we're not far from smart contracts, and this is really going to be when Cardano starts to move. So really exciting. Let's have a quick look at Dogecoin. Dogecoin's been a bit slow to the party, but I wouldn't be surprised if this decides to suddenly rocket. So up to the next major resistance, you got the next major resistance there at 0.44, and you've got some support here at the 28 mark, which we're struggling to break through. So if we can break through this resistance, which is the support turned resistance at the level we're at now, and then retest that point. So if I just draw this in for you. So if we can, very roughly, if we can break above this level, come into retest, and then head higher to test this level here, that's what we want to be doing here, to test that 44-cent mark. Okay, so that's Dogecoin. And let's look at DOT, Link, Matic. You've got to have these in your long-term core portfolio just to make sure you're well diversified. Similar story. Okay, the alts are a bit slower to the party, but we'd expect that. I think the alts won't get exciting until Bitcoin starts breaking through the 50 and people feel confident that there's no way we're heading back to that 29-30 scary mark. So a lot of potential here in DOT, Link. Now's the time you want to be averaging in on these ones. I wouldn't be rushing into Bitcoin, but this is the human psychology, right? Nobody wanted to buy it at 29 and 30, and now suddenly that Bitcoin's sprung up 40% in 30 days. Everybody's happy to pay 46,000 per Bitcoin. So yeah, there you have it. That's the crypto update. Let's go back to crypto market cap. So just to summarize, we've had a 40% move in Bitcoin in the last 30 days, a 60% phenomenal increase in Ethereum. Binance Coin is moving, and you know what Binance Coin does when it starts to move. We saw that in the earlier this year, how Binance Coin moves. Cardano, a 60% increase in 30 days. Good to see. It's really recovering from the falls. XRP doing well as well, 60%. And Dogecoin's a bit slower. Polkadot, nice and strong. These Ethereum plays, Uniswap. So you got Polkadot there, 55%, Uniswap 65%, really moving well. Solana, also another strong one, which I've got in my portfolio, moving 45%. So overall, a good day in crypto, and we're moving higher. So it feels like the days of $30,000 Bitcoins are well behind us. Those that panic sold, hopefully they've learned a lesson in being a bit patient when the market does suddenly scare you out, because we know this is what the game that the institutions want to play. They don't, you know, the institutions are realizing they're late to the party with Bitcoin, and the institutions do not want to buy $60,000 Bitcoins. They need to justify their ROI. So they have to be able to move the market to a point where they can enter at lower prices. So if you're the one selling your Bitcoin at $30,000 to them, you're the one that's going to be regretting that when we start to climb higher to all-time highs. So overall, things are still looking good for Bitcoin, and we'll see you in the next one.